Everyone. So I think we'll do our morning prayers again this morning, the morning mantras. Is everybody okay with that? Are you happy to do that? All right. Okay. So I just find it helpful. There's Mary Little Heart. I always find it helpful to do. Anyway, it's great to do these in the morning before you even talk to anybody. So somehow you purify your speech, and it reminds you, to keep our speech a little bit pure. As we just tend to and then we don't sort of think how our words are landing because we're just talking all the time. And we can, it's possible that we do harm with our speech. I mean, a lot of harm is done with speech. So we don't go around killing people, but we are often saying things maybe a little bit sarcastic or harsh speech or all those things so it's good, I think, to do these little mantras, and it helps to remind us to keep our speech in check. So what we really want in terms of our speech is to be intelligent and wise and compassionate and kind, and to have our words have meaning, and when they land in somebody's ear, so that it's a benefit for them. That's really all we should be using our speech for. But we do use it for a lot of other things as well. Okay, so let's just settle into our meditation posture. So we'll do our regular 9-round breathing. And, we're a little bit late. Okay. And just check your body. And how are you feeling this morning or this afternoon? Wherever you are in the world. And then try not to have any judgment about that. So just notice what's going on, what's bubbling up. And then try and land. And bring your mind to the same place your body is. And check your legs and feet. Hands in the meditation mudra, your sits bones raised, maybe 1 to 2 inches. Shoulders are aligned with the hips. And imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light, stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So like a puppeteer would, maybe somebody's very gently lengthening your spine. And your head is very slightly tipped forward. And your eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose, tip of the tongue and the roof of the mouth. And just relax. And bring your mind to the crown of the head and relax the scalp and the forehead and the nose, the cheeks, the mouth, the jaw. And then bring your attention to the back of the head and relax the scalp there, the ears, the inner ear, the temples, back of the tongue. And release any tension in the back of the neck, shoulders. And allow your shoulder blades to drop down. Relax your throat and the chest and the belly, limbs, hands, fingers and feet and toes. And then bring the mind to the breath, noticing the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. If there are any sounds in your environment, whether it be traffic, emergency service vehicles, people, somebody in your home making breakfast. Just allow those sounds to be there. So try not to follow them with your mind. Try not to push them away if they're annoying. Then bring the mind back to the breath. And notice your thoughts. And if they're running, try and put some space in between them. And notice what's there again. And try not to judge, criticize. Try not to follow the story or even make up a story. Just notice what's arising. Perhaps it's not who you really are. And allow those thoughts to arise. They'll probably abide for a moment and then just they'll let them go, let them flow on. And you just be an objective observer, just noticing, curious, objective, without getting involved, entangled, or being swept away. And we're just sitting here on the bank of our river, just watching it flow by, this river of mental moments. And that you're free. And bring the mind to mind all the people of your life, your loved ones, family, children, spouses, besties, those people that you don't really like very much, have difficulty with. And then there's those strangers in your life, the ones you pass in the street, in your car. And just remember that at any point in time, according to our karma with each other, these relationships can change. And maybe they have in your life. But think, regardless, they're all deserving, equally deserving of our concern. Because they all wish to be happy and they don't want to suffer, and they all have this unbelievable capacity for enlightenment. So I think we'll do this meditation this morning for the benefit of all these people of our life, and by extension all sentient beings. So let's just start with our 9-round breathing. And maybe we'll just do 1 round this morning. So as you're breathing in, blissful, radiant, white light, and pause at the top of the breath, and then breathe out through the left nostril all your attachment and grasping and neediness, unhealthy desire, and breathe it out as thick black yucky smoke, and it disappears into space. Do that 3 times, breathing in through the left nostril this time, blissful, radiant, white light, pausing at the top of the breath, and then breathe out through the right, all your anger energy and depression, wishing to harm, bitterness, grudges, jealousies, disappointments, irritation. And you breathe that out as thick black yucky smoke disappears. Do that 3 times. And then breathing in through both nostrils, blissful, radiant white light. Pause at the top of the breath. And then breathe out all your ignorance energy. This is not knowing the way things truly exist. Not understanding or appreciating cause and effect, karma, dependent arising. And breathe that out as thick black yucky smoke, all our ignorance. Do that 3 times. So we just do 1 set of 3 this morning. And just bring the mind to the breath and feel. And notice what's bubbling up now. And make it okay. Just meet yourself where you're at, without any expectations. I heard Venerable Rabina say the other day, the one mistake we make is the expectations that we have of ourselves. We should have done this better. We should have finished grieving by now. Should. We be good to drop that from our vocabulary and let go of the expectations we have of ourselves. It's not saying that we shouldn't have goals. Okay, so this blessing the speech is something that we very good to do in the morning. But before we do that, we'll just do a couple of little prayers. Rinpoche's added, says this is a method to transform our suffering life into happiness, including enlightenment. So Greg or Matt or Lou, if you wouldn't mind, please, muting, make sure everybody's muted. And we can start. Essence encompassing all the Buddhas, originator of the holy Dharma of scripture and realization, principle of all the Aryas intending virtue, in the glorious holy Gurus I take refuge. And I realize I haven't put the text up for you. So just 1 second, I'm going to do that. Matt, would you let me screen share? Okay. And I'll try so you don't see all the mess that's going on my computer. Okay, so here we are. Essence encompassing all the Buddhas, originator of all the holy Dharma of scripture and realization, principle of all the Aryas intending virtue, in the glorious holy Gurus I take refuge. Please Gurus bless my mind to become Dharma, Dharma to become the path, and the path to be without obstacles. And so let's just, and this goes on for quite a while, so I want to take you to another one. Determined to obtain the greatest possible benefit from all sentient beings, who are more precious than a wish-fulfilling jewel, I hold the most dear at all times. May I become like a wish-granting jewel, fulfilling all the wishes, and like a wish-granting tree, fulfilling all the hopes of transmigratory beings. And then let's go to blessing the speech. And this is a lovely one. This is His Holiness the Dalai Lama loves to recite this verse. Well, as long as space remains, as long as transmigratory beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the suffering of transmigratory beings. Okay, so these are just some positive thoughts that we can put into our mind the moment that we wake up. So it's very often we wake up and we're like, oh no, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. We almost like open our eyes and off we go. And it's like, usually. So it's very good to wake up quietly, calmly, and have some positive thoughts going into our mind. And it does really change how you interact with yourself and others. So I think this blessing the speech is also part of it. So it's good if we can get some kind of discipline of just, and it takes literally 5 minutes. It takes 10 minutes to do all these morning prayers, but 5 minutes to do this little blessing the speech. And it's so simple, and it's really lovely to do. Okay, so we start with a little refuge prayer. Very simply, I take refuge in the three rare sublime ones. May I become a Buddha to benefit transmigratory beings. I take refuge in the three rare sublime ones. May I become a Buddha to benefit transmigratory beings. I take refuge in the three rare sublime ones. May I become a Buddha to benefit transmigratory beings. So if you haven't taken an initiation, don't clarify yourself as a deity or arise as a deity. But if you have, you can. Other than that, just imagine on your tongue a syllable ah. So if you do understand Tibetan, you can put the Tibetan script there, but if not, just A, H. And it's standing upright. Transforms into a moon. And on top of it, a white syllable Om, encircled by the white Sanskrit vowels, standing clockwise. And the red Sanskrit consonants standing counterclockwise, and the blue heart mantra of dependent relation standing clockwise. And you can imagine light beams radiate from the syllable Om and the mantra garlands, and they hook back the blessings and power of all the holy beings. So here it says those beyond and not beyond the world, in the form of the 3 mantras, the 7 sublime precious objects of a king's reign, the 8 auspicious signs and the 8 auspicious substances. And it tells you down here what that all is. And they're the Buddhas and the Arya Bodhisattvas abiding in the pure Bhumis and the Arhats. And those not beyond are those yogis. You can imagine there's actually quite a few of them up in Dharamsala in the mountains, and probably in Tibet as well. And even Westerners who are kind of doing their retreats. And they're sort of working on the path. And there's the sages who have actualized the words of truth. And due to the power of abiding in silence and living in the morality of abstaining from negative karmas of speech, the words of these sages have much power. So whatever they pray for is successful. So all their blessings and the power of speech are hooked back in the form of the 3 mantras, the 7 precious objects of a king's reign, and 8 auspicious signs. And these are, imagine just everything wonderful in the world, filling the whole sky. And they absorb into the mantras on the moon disk on your tongue, like rain falling on the ocean. So your tongue is imbued with quite a bit of power at this point. So these are the vowels. And I haven't managed to hear from my friend how they did it when they were children. But my Tibetan nun friend, Senla, Venerable Senla. But I will try and get that from her. So imagine as we're reciting these vowels, nectar beams, white nectar beams flow down from the mantra and fill your whole body, and all the negative karmas collected with your body from beginningless rebirths are completely purified. Okay, so we start. Om, a, I, u, u, ri, li, e, o, ang, a, svaha. Om, a, I, u, ri, li, e, o, ang, a, svaha. Om, a, I, u, ri, li, e, o, ang, a, svaha. So Rinpoche very kindly asked the people who in the education department to put the Tibetan script there, because I think he wants us to eventually be able to have some familiarity with this. So as you recite the consonants, red nectar beams flow down from the mantra and fill your whole body, and all the negative karmas collected with your speech from beginningless rebirths are completely purified. These are the consonants, sorry. Om, ka, nya. Tsa, kya, nya. Ta, na. Ta, na. Pa, ma. Yara, lawa, sha, ka, sa, ha, kya, svaha. Om, ka, nya. Tsa, kya, nya. Ta, na. Ta, na. Pa, ma. Yara, lawa, sha, ka, sa, ha, kya, svaha. Om, ka, nya. Tsa, kya, nya. Ta, na. Ta, na. Pa, ma. Yara, lawa, sha, ka, sa, ha, kya, svaha. So the next is the heart mantra of dependent relation. So as you recite the mantra, blue nectar beams flow down from the mantra and fill your whole body, and all the negative karmas collected with your mind from beginningless rebirths are completely purified. Om ye Dhamma, hetu prabhava, hetu tekan tatagato, hayavada, tekan sayo, nirada, evam vadi maha shramanaye svaha. Om ye Dhamma, hetu prabhava, hetu tekan tatagato, hayavada, tekan sayo, nirada, evam vadi maha shramanaye svaha. Om ye Dhamma, hetu prabhava, hetu tekan tatagato, hayavada, tekan sayo, nirada, evam vadi maha shramanaye svaha. So then, the heart mantra of dependent relation absorbs into the consonants. the consonants into the vowels into the syllable om, the om into the moon cushion. That transforms into syllable ah, the ah melts into pink nectar and absorbs into my tongue, which becomes the nature of the Vajra. So just imagine that for a moment. Your tongue becomes very heavy and strong, as indestructible as a Vajra. And really, really believe, really feel that all the blessings and power of the speech of all the Buddhas, the Bodhisattvas, the Arhats, the Yogis, and the sages, people like His Holiness the Dalai Lama, have entered your speech and made it perfect, and think, my speech has become perfect. At this point, we're just acting as if. And so here's some benefits. The power of your speech becomes perfect. Whatever you recite is multiplied 10 million times. The power of your speech is not taken away by eating wrong foods. If you've done precepts, you understand that. And gossiping becomes a recitation of mantra. Okay, and then there's a little dedication prayer here. May my tongue, sense, base have all the courage of the ones gone to bliss. By the magnificence and power of my words, may all sentiments be subdued, and may all the meanings of whatever words I say be accomplished. It probably should be whatever pure words I say be accomplished. And if you have a mala here, we've got time to do this. If you don't, that's okay. So we can bless our malas also in the morning. Om Rachira Mani Pravarataya Hum, 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 Om Rachira Mani Pravarataya Hum. So, I mean, you'll see the Geshe-la and all the lamas, they go like this, and then they blow, and then they rub it around. And then your mala's blessed. So we often think we have to ask Geshe-la to bless our mala for us, and we can do it ourselves. So you've blessed your speech, then you can bless your mala. Fantastic. So we can become independent little practitioners here. So next is a mantra to increase virtue. And if you recite this mantra 7 times, any virtuous activity you do is multiplied by 100,000. So this one is Om Sambara Sambara Bimanasara Mahajava Hum, Om Smara Smara Bimanaskara Mahajava Hum, Om Sambara Sambara Bimanasara Mahajava Hum, Om Smara Smara Bimanaskara Mahajava Hum, Om Sambara Sambara Bimanasara Mahajava Hum, Om Smara Smara Bimanaskara Mahajava Hum, Om Sambara Sambara Bimanasara Mahajava Hum, Om Smara Smara Bimanaskara Mahajava Hum, Om Sambara Sambara Bimanasara Mahajava Hum, Om Smara Smara Bimanaskara Mahajava Hum, Om Sambara Sambara Bimanasara Mahajava Hum, Om Smara Smara Bimanaskara Mahajava Hum, Om Sambara Sambara Bimanasara Mahajava Hum, Om Smara Smara Bimanaskara Mahajava Hum. And our time is up. I'm going to stop share. And that's it. Thank you very much, everybody. Lots of love. And so if you wish, in the future, we can also do the morning prayers, which have some very, very beautiful tunes to them. So if people are in, there's Mary with a thumbs up. If people are interested, please let me know. And then we can do that together as well. We can do our little morning prayers. Okay, so there's a few of that you're interested. Okay, yes. All right, then next time then we'll we'll do our morning prayers then on Friday. Okay. All right, everybody. So I'll cut out all the preliminaries because it does take a little bit of time. So we'll come in and we'll just do our prayers, maybe a little bit of settling, and then we'll go straight into it. Okay, so we'll aim for Friday for that. Thank you very much. I had 3 hosts this morning. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.